There's a lot of games left in this Red Sox season, but if this issue is not fixed soon, it could be a huge problem for this Red Sox team. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Seat Radio. My name is Corbin, and so far on this channel, we have been strictly preaching that, look, it is too early to make any claims about this Red Sox team. It is too small of a sample size to say they are going to be good or they are going to bad. We need to watch this team play a little bit longer for that to happen, but you can pick out things in these first couple of games that, hey, maybe the Red Sox should start to work on that, and one of those things for me is stolen bases, and not the Red Sox stealing bases. No, I'm talking about opponents stealing bases on the Boston Red Sox, because it's been a huge problem for this Red Sox team so far early in 2023. In fact, in Major League Baseball through 6 games, the Red Sox have the most stolen bases allowed, but they also have the 7th most stolen bases allowed in Major League history through 6 game. But it's not entirely time to panic yet about this Red Sox stolen base problem, because they do have time to fix it. So what we are going to do in today's video is we are going to break down what might be causing this stolen base issue. Is there someone to blame solely for this stolen base issue? And we're going to talk about how the Red Sox can fix it. But before we get into that, do me a favor, make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. It helps these videos out a ton, and it would mean a lot to me. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one. Let's get into it. One of the biggest reasons why the 2023 Red Sox have allowed so many runs early on this season is because of the pitching side of things. We knew that going into the 2023 season, there was going to be a lot of rule changes to this pitching staff, right? Through all of Major League Baseball, not just the Red Sox, but you do have less time in between pitches now, and you are limited on your pickoff attempts. You can only attempt to pick off a runner twice in an at-bat, and if you are to throw over a third time, you need to get them out or it is a balk. So going into the 2023 season, we knew that throughout Major League Baseball, they were going to be limited on how they can keep runners on base, and there was going to be more base stealing naturally. But that doesn't mean that they don't have any tactics for keeping runners on base anymore. It just means that they have to employ different tactics than just picking off 3-4 times an at bat. And one of those things is pitch timing, how long it takes for you to start your delivery every single pitch. For example, on opening day, Ryan Brasier made his first appearance of the year. Immediately, bases were getting stolen on him left and right. Kevin Youkilis pointed out on the broadcast that it was taking him about the same time every single pitch to wind up and deliver the ball. If Ryan Brasier was able to change the timing in between his pitches, go from 1 second before he pitches to 3 seconds before he pitches, he would be able to throw off runners and hopefully prevent a little more stolen bases. Because if you're a runner on base and Ryan Brasier is taking 2 seconds every time before he delivers the ball, you now have that timing down. Especially with the pitch clock now, you can truly get that timing down, and it makes for an easier jump and a much more difficult throw for the catcher. Honestly, most of the time it was leading to a non-competitive throw by the catcher. But it's not just, hey, look, we're going to sit here for 2 seconds before we throw the ball to home plate, then we're going to take 5 seconds to throw the ball to home plate. You can also employ other tactics as well. Really anything you can do to mess with a runner's timing. One of the things you can do is change the amount of times you're looking over at him before you deliver the ball as well, right? If you are looking over at, say, Cedric Mullins once every single time you pitch the ball, he's going to realize, hey, after he looks over at me, he's not going to look back again, and I am in the clear to either take another step or get ready to run, because now I know that that pitch is coming. If you can differentiate those things, especially the timing on the mound, you are able to create a bit more confusion on the base pass and hopefully limit the amount of stolen bases that are coming against you, specifically the amount of stolen bases that are non-competitive, where the catcher has simply no chance to throw a guy out because you're allowing him to get a huge lead and a huge jump on. But obviously it's not just the pitching side of things that is letting up stolen bases so far this season, so let's talk about the catching side of things as well. There have been a lot of non-competitive throws to second base, specifically for the Boston Red Sox in 2023 when it comes to the catching side of things. Now, some of the time they just simply aren't throwing at all, and we talked about why that could be happening on the pitching side of things, right? If a runner's getting a huge lead at first and then he's taking off on a perfect jump, the catcher really has no chance, so why bother making that throw anyways? But when the Red Sox do throw specifically to second base, they have a 0% success rate going through 2023. Again, it's only a sample size of 6 games, so it's not a huge sample size, but still, the Red Sox have caught nobody stealing at second base, and it's not like our defensive catching is terrible. We don't have Gary Sanchez behind the plate, because Reese McGuire last year ranked 31st in Major League Baseball in terms of his pop time to second base. He also ranked in the top 10 in Major League Baseball for his pop time to third base. So what's going on and how can we fix it? Well, one thing that I noticed the Red Sox doing a lot of in spring training, specifically Reese McGuire himself, was back picking as a catcher. If you don't know what back picking is, it's basically when a Red Sox catcher tries to throw out a guy at first or third after the pitch was thrown. Reese McGuire was doing this a ton during spring training, and it was helping limit the amount of time we're trying to steal second base or even trying to steal third base as well, because they knew how fast Reese McGuire was behind the dish. Now, obviously, a back pick is much more risky than a pitcher pickoff attempt, right? You're throwing from the crouching position. You have to be really, really fast with it, and there could be a chance that you absolutely sail that ball into right field and the runner on first gets pretty much automatic second base. But at the same time too, it's sort of a risk versus reward situation, because while pitcher pickoff attempts have been limited this year, catching pickoff attempts have not been at all. Reese McGuire can throw over there as many times as he wants, and it doesn't have to be super competitive picks. It doesn't have to be one where he has to try and get the guy out every time. All he has to do is try and limit the size of the lead that a runner is getting on first base, or limit any idea of a stolen base attempt, right? All he has to do is try and limit the idea that, hey, look, the running on this team is super easy. All I have to do is take off, right? And I pretty much guarantee that I'm going to get into second base. If he can limit that ideology, he will have less runners stealing against him, obviously, right? So that could be one thing that the Red Sox catching staff looks for. The other is just simply getting better with your pop time, getting better, practicing over and over again, getting up, throwing the ball, getting ready for a steal, trying to identify certain signs, have the pitcher step off when you need him to step off, go to the mound, talk to him, try and break up a little bit of the momentum in terms of the runner on first base. There are a lot of things the catcher can do to try and fix this. And I'm not ready to give up on Reese McGuire or Connor Wong yet. I've seen a couple of people talking about, hey, maybe we got to trade for a new catcher. Maybe it's time to move on from both of these guys. Well, it's only 7 games into the season, so again, it's way too early to try and declare something like that. Give them a bigger sample size, see if they can make the proper adjustments and help both this pitching staff and themselves in terms of preventing stolen bases. There is one more possible explanation as to why the Red Sox have let so many bases be stolen early on in the 2023 season. It has nothing to do with the Red Sox at all. It has to do with the teams they are playing, right? They played the Baltimore Orioles and the Pittsburgh Pirates, who aren't the most offensive menace team in the entire world, but they have a lot of guys who can steal bags. Cedric Mullins, Gunnar Henderson, Jorge Mateo. Then you look at the Pirates, right? You got O'Neal Cruz, you've got Brian Reynolds, you've got Jack Sawinski, you've got guys who are pretty quick who can steal bags on you. Maybe it's just a matter of who they were playing early on in this season. It's going to have to be something that we keep an eye on, right? As they go and they play teams who have less speed factors on their teams, is the stolen base problem still an issue? Is it something that is still plaguing this team? Are guys who normally wouldn't steal bases stealing bases on you? Because that's when it becomes a real big problem. That is something to look to as well. All in all, I'm just a fan, right? So I don't really know what the true solution to this problem really is, but it is super frustrating to me. I know it's super frustrating to you, and if the Red Sox don't fix it soon, it could be a huge problem for this Red Sox team in 2023, but I may not know the answer to that. So let me know how you would fix this Red Sox stolen base situation down below. What do you think is the major problem for this Red Sox team in terms of stolen bases, and how do we fix this problem? Let me know all your thoughts on the Red Sox stolen base problem down below. As always, if you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor, make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. Helps it out a ton, would mean a lot to me. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see you in the red seat.